I still can't believe this Oscar-nominated actor appeared in Star Trek, Picard, and never returned. Academy Award nominee David Paymer appeared as Dr. Moritz Benayoun in Star Trek, Picard Season 1, and amazingly, was never seen again. Under showrunner Michael Chabon, Star Trek, Picard Season 1 brought back Patrick Stewart as Admiral Jean-Luc Picard. However, as a producer, Stewart decided that Star Trek, Picard would not be a retread of Star Trek, The Next Generation with its original cast. Instead, Jean-Luc would find a new motley crew to aid him in saving the galaxy. Admiral Jean-Luc Picard learned he was dying of aromatic syndrome in Star Trek, Picard Season 1. Or, at least, that is what he and audiences believed at the time. When he witnesses the murder of Dodge Issa Briones and uncovers a Romulan plot targeting her twin sister, Soji Issa Briones, the retired Picard attempts to return to active Starfleet duty. However, Picard had to be medically certified for deep space service, and his condition prompted the return of his old friend, Dr. Moritz Benayoun. David Paymer's surprise appearance in Star Trek, Picard explained, David Paymer appeared as Dr. Moritz Benayoun in Star Trek, Picard Season 1, Episode 2, Maps and Legends. Dr. Benayoun came to Chateau Picard to tell Jean-Luc his aromatic syndrome was terminal. Jean-Luc's dialogue with Moritz soon filled in the blanks that Dr. Benayoun was Chief Medical Officer of the USS Starziger, Captain Picard's command before the USS Enterprise D. It was a brief but charming scene between Picard and Dr. Benayoun in David Paymer's lone Star Trek appearance. Academy Award nominated for his role in Mr. Saturday Night, David Paymer boasts an impressive, decades-long career as an actor and a director. Paymer's memorable films include City Slickers, Searching for Bobby Fischer, Get Shorty, The American President, and Ocean's 13. On TV, Paymer appeared in The Good Wife, Perception, and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, among numerous other TV series. Paymer also directed episodes of Everwood, Brothers and Sisters, and Heart of Dixie. What happened to Dr. Moritz Benayoun, and why he failed to detect Picard's true illness? Dr. Moritz Benayoun didn't return after Star Trek, Picard Season 1. The elderly physician was called upon by Admiral Picard to certify him for deep space travel after Starfleet Medical denied him. Picard leaned on his past friendship with Dr. Benayoun to grant him what he required. Ultimately, Jean-Luc traveled to outer space on his personal crusade anyway. Dr. Benayoun didn't detect in Picard's medical examination that Jean-Luc's terminal brain disease was not rheumatic syndrome. Star Trek, Picard Season 3 retconned Jean-Luc's illness to be organic Borg DNA left over from his assimilation into Locutus. Moritz, of course, couldn't have known this since the retcon happened 2 seasons after his lone appearance. Presumably, Dr. Moritz Benayoun continued practicing medicine on Earth. Perhaps Dr. Benayoun retired after his appearance in Star Trek, Picard Season 1. As a character invented for Star Trek, Picard, Dr. Benayoun was a clever bridge to Jean-Luc Picard's pre-Star Trek, The Next Generation past as captain of the USS Stargazer. Benayoun meant multiple generations of Picard's Starfleet career impacted him in Star Trek, Picard's 3 seasons. There are cameo appearances, and then there are what the hell was that? Moments in television history. Star Trek, Picard, a series that has delivered its fair share of surprises, retcons, and deep-cut references, quietly pulled off one of the most unbelievable guest spots in modern Trek history. The kind of appearance that makes you pause, rewind, and squint at the screen like your streaming app is gaslighting you. Yes, we're talking about the jaw-dropping moment when Oscar-nominated actor James Cromwell popped up in Star Trek, Picard, and never returned. Let's back up. For context, Picard is a series about legacy. It's about Jean-Luc Picard grappling with aging, memory, artificial intelligence, and the ghosts of his past, emotional, digital, and occasionally Romulan. So it makes sense that the show might tap into Trek's deep bench of characters and actors. But when James Cromwell made his blink and you'll miss it appearance, it felt less like fan service and more like a cosmic fluke. The man is Zefram Cochrane, the inventor of warp drive. His character is a foundational pillar of Federation lore. And yet, he showed up in the strangest way imaginable. Here's how it went down. In Star Trek Picard Season 2, we see a hologram of Zefram Cochrane during a Federation archive presentation. It's a brief moment, a grainy projection giving a speech we've basically heard before. That's it. Cromwell's actual voice. Possibly even old archival footage or a digitally tweaked version of his first contact monologue. And just like that, he was gone. Now, some fans might argue that this wasn't a true appearance. Maybe it doesn't count if the actor didn't film new scenes, right? But that misses the point. The presence of James Cromwell, even in holographic form, was a deliberate choice. The showrunners had to want Cromwell. They had to dig through Trek canon, pick that moment, and say, yes, let's bring him back. And then, nothing. No follow-up. No expanded role. No quirky flashback, no mind-bending time travel cameo. Just Cochrane stuck in his own digital museum loop. Why is this such a big deal? Because Cromwell's Cochrane isn't just a background historical figure. In Star Trek First Contact 1996, he was the guy. The man who, through a potent mix of human stubbornness and interstellar luck, ushered Earth into its golden age. Without him, there's no Federation, no Starfleet, no Picard. And the performance Cromwell gave was far from a dry historical reenactment. His Cochrane was human, messy, sarcastic, a brilliant drunk reluctantly pulled into destiny. He's one of the few historical figures in Trek who feels like he'd actually punch a Vulcan for touching his jukebox. So the question isn't just why he appeared, but why he didn't come back. Imagine what Picard could have done with a full James Cromwell cameo. Season 2, after all, was already playing fast and loose with time travel, alternate realities, and legacy characters. You're telling me they couldn't have squeezed in a scene where Picard, lost in some temporal anomaly, meets Cochrane face to face? The wise old captain talking to the reluctant founder of everything he holds dear? It practically writes itself. Or maybe Cromwell could have shown up in Season 3, set aboard a new Enterprise, focused again on the heart of the franchise. A dying Cochrane offering advice to the next generation? A final message buried in a warped signature? Or just Cromwell sipping Tennessee whiskey in a field of corn, watching the stars and muttering about that time aliens ruined my weekend? The tragedy is that Star Trek, Picard often leaned on nostalgia without fully realizing the emotional potential of its legacy characters. They nailed some returns, hello, Riker and Troy. But others, like Cochrane, were more like Easter eggs than actual tributes. A bit of seasoning, not a full course meal. It's not like Cromwell is averse to genre work either. The man's awesome reads like a masterclass in versatile acting, Babe L.A. Confidential, The Green Mile, The Queen, which earned him his Oscar nom, and countless TV credits including 6 Feet Under and American Horror Story. He's got gravitas and range, and at 80+, he's still very much capable of delivering a scene that could shake fans to their core. So why didn't they use him more? Was it scheduling? Budget? Or did someone behind the scenes just not see the potential? We may never get the answer. And perhaps that's what makes his cameo so fascinating. In a show all about confronting the past, here was one of Trek's most important historical figures reduced to a footnote. But even in that fleeting moment, Cromwell reminded us of the world Trek built and the strange, chaotic humans who dared to dream it into existence. Still, I can't believe it happened. And I can't believe that's all we got. Would you like this tailored for a specific platform like a blog, entertainment site, or YouTube narration script? Still, I can't believe it happened. And I can't believe that's all we got.